for you. So let's jump into it, friends. So first thing you're going to do, guys, is cut yourself a piece of wire. So get out your tape measure or your ruler, your bead board, and we will measure out, which I've already done, and cut a piece of wire that is, give yourself an 16 to 18 inch piece. Especially if you're a beginner, you want to definitely not short yourself. You want to have plenty of wire. So I already cut myself and a piece of wire, and I have kind of just bent it, you know, folded it in half. And what I did was I just made sure I was flush up here. So you do want to make sure you're flush up here, just kind of fold it in half. And that's all I've done with my wire. The second thing I've done is I cut my chain for my dangles. So I did two. We'll do the third one together. And I'll tell you what I did if you want to do this exact style. What I did was I cut 3 separate pieces of chain. And I staggered. I'm going to stagger them, so it's going to have like a cascading effect on the bottom of this necklace. It's going to be really pretty, I think. It's going to turn out nice. Okay, so what you're going to do, I've already cut mine, but what you'll do is you're going to grab your chain and cut a 3-link piece, and then cut a 5-link piece and a 7-link piece. So again, grab your chain and you're going to cut 1 piece that's 3 links, 1 piece that's 5 links, and 1 piece that's 7 links. And that is going to give us this cascading effect dangle on the bottom. Okay? And that's all I've done, and we're going to put the rest of it together. We'll put the rest of it together. So guys, I'm going to grab my last piece of chain here that I had already cut, and a jump ring. And I'll go ahead and feed that on my crystal disc here that is top drilled. And then I will take the last link of that chain and feed it on that jump ring, and then we'll close up the jump ring. Okay, and so now, as you can see, we have 3 dangles done, and they are going to cascade. It's going to be really pretty. So now our dangles are done. And the reason we do that first is because we're going to feed them right on our necklace to get the necklace started. So let's just go ahead and we will feed those right on the necklace using that first link of the chain that you cut. Okay, and we'll let it fall down. And now this is what we have. Okay, isn't that pretty? Ooh, it's already going to be pretty, I can already tell. Okay, guys, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our wires back together at the top. And we are going to feed a, a spacer bead. And this is, by the way, why I do not recommend using the thicker gauge wire, because our holes are really small. And I'm just going to nip the end of that to make sure that my wire is flush, because that was giving me a little trouble to get through there. So we're going to grab one of these little gold spacers, and we're going to put 2 on, if I can get it through. Okay. We're going to feed on 2. And so we fed them through both the wires. Now we're going to go ahead and pull those down, those beads all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and so now, just pull it down as tight as you can get it. And now this is what we have. So you see what we've done there? Very, very easy to get started. Just make sure your chain is laying the way you want. Okay, yeah, there we go. So then this is going to pretty much hold that in place to where these won't be moving around. Okay, And now we'll go ahead and split our wires. And so we're going to go back to our little spacer beads. And what I'm going to do is I will be alternating back and forth on each strand. I tend to do that when I'm doing any kind of a multi-strand or a different type of a technique, because that rather than just your standard, because I'd like to make sure that I'm doing my pattern correctly. So now I've just fed on one bead, and now this is what we have. Okay, at the bottom there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my pattern. And what I think I'll do is I'll start with a daisy spacer. Don't worry about holding this down, and we'll get there as we continue on and get more beads. It'll start to line up at the bottom. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to just do a daisy spacer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate. I have 30 of each, so every 10 I am going to put a gold spacer in between. So I'm going to start with the darker, and I'm just going to alternate between my two bicone colors. And as I just said, I'm going to feed on 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put on another daisy spacer. And then another little gold Toho spacer. And then I'm going to do another 10. So we start with the dark. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the other side, and I am going to do that same pattern. I'm simply going to repeat that pattern up the other side, you guys. Okay, so let's feed on a crimp. Okay, let that drop down, and let's grab our chain, and then we will figure out how to cut our chain, because I'm wanting a 16-inch. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sorry, wire guardian first, guys. I want to do a 16-inch choker. So let's do it this way, and then we'll measure our chain after, and then it'll be perfect. So what we did was we fed on the crimp bead, and then we fed on the wire guardian. Okay, and now we will take our chain, find the last link, and now we'll feed it on that tail, just like this, and then it'll just go right down our wire guardian. Okay, and now what we'll do is take that tail and feed it back through the crimp bead, and try to see if you can get it through, depending upon the bead you're using. These little gold ones are so small of mine. We know we got it through at the beginning there, but I mean, it was really difficult to get through, but I'm going to try to get it through, because I want to get it at least through a couple of those bicones. And again, this is just for good measure. Now we'll grab our tail, okay, holding that chain, and we're just going to pull that tail, okay? And our beads are going to begin to come together now. Now this is where, again, you're going to just go ahead and check your bottom here. Make sure at the bottom you look like a Y. It should look just like a Y. And our beads are flush, and they are. Okay, so now we don't want to do it super, super tight, because obviously we want to have movement, but I can see that I do. So I'm happy with that. And what I'll do is just squeeze this wire guardian, and then I'm going to go ahead and crimp that wire guardian off. I'm sorry, crimp the crimp tube off. I'm just going to work it a little bit back and forth. until it looks the way I want it to look. Okay, and now guys, do you see what I was talking about with regards to the wire? See how that wire guardian covered up our wire and we can't even see any wire? Let's get our measurement. So we want an 18-inch, right? So what we did was we added our chain. Now let's go ahead and we're gonna lay this out flat as we can. Okay, I just like to try to lay my chain out as flat as I can. I am right lined up on my daisy spacer. I'm gonna go ahead, grab my side wire cutters now, and cut my chain right at the 8. So that'll be right there. Okay, and so now we know we have 18-inch necklace. Now we will go ahead and flip it, and we are going to finish off this side. So you see what I mean? How each side, unlike a standard traditional necklace, is crimped off independent of each other. So you're just really working to the point where you're just concentrating, really focusing down here to make sure that you're nice and tight, because when you're finishing each side, you don't get a redo, right? You want to make sure that, as like the side we're about to crimp, that we have got it pulled down and those beads are touching perfectly. It looks just like a Y. Okay? And as you can see, you know, this is what we have here. Our wire guardians, our crimp covers are on, our chain is attached. That is not going anywhere. Okay? And everything looks just the way it should. So we can okay, let's finish that off. And all we have to do is add a toggle, friends. And basically all we need are 2 jump rings, a pair of chain nose and bent nose or flat nose, our toggle, and 2 jump rings. That's it. And we're almost finished and we can do our earrings. I don't normally do earrings, so I was really happy to do some earrings with you guys, because, you know, I do often forget, and I have a very dear friend of mine. She's like, Jen, you know, your jewelry is so pretty, but you keep forgetting about everybody that likes to have a matching set with the earrings. You do so many bracelets and stuff. So isn't that funny? It's like, I've been making jewelry for well over 12, I think I'm going into 13 years now. I have to actually figure it out and let you guys know exactly. But I do. I don't make a lot of earrings, and sometimes I forget. Oh, Jen, duh, that is so pretty. Maybe you need to make the full set together. Hello. So there's always room for improvement, isn't there, guys? Always room to improve and perfect your craft. Guys, all I'm doing there, very simple, right, is putting the jump ring on the clasp, adding it to the last link of the chain. That is simple Simon. And then we close our jump ring up, make sure it's perfectly closed. And it is. And that is what we just made. Let me get this out of the way. And I am going to lay it out here for you to show you how cool is this for a spin on these beautiful crystal necklaces. How beautiful. So let's jump over to our earrings here, guys. Very happy that we got 2 projects in a video, you guys. I love when I can do that. Okay, that just twisted on me. Let me get you back where you need to be. Okay, I think we're done with that. And let me just straighten out that head pin correctly. Okay, and then we can actually just open that up and we can feed our chain on that. since we're just holding it. I know I just did it the backwards way I just did the other one, but we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. I have to fix that loop. Hold on, guys. Let me fix that loop with that guy. Sorry, I have to turn it in a funky way. It just like went the weirdest way. So I have to use my flat nose to get that correct. Okay, and now we'll grab our ear wire. I think we're done with those. And we'll open up that ear wire loop. And we'll just feed that last link of that chain on there. Close that up, and we're all done, guys. And there we go. I'll pull those up. We made a darling pair of chain little earrings to match our beautiful necklace. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know what? I actually had a lot of fun making that necklace. You know, again, it's the same family with this split design, but a totally different, we just put a totally different spin on that. I mean, it just elevated that. Didn't it just elevate that design? And how fun is this? That cascading effect on those dangles. Oh, that's just... Love it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that so much. I had a wonderful time with you guys today making that. That's a beautiful set. And I love the colors. I might make another one of those, see what other colors I've got. I've got blue and green, and now I've got gold. Maybe I'll make a white one. I don't know, or something maybe with some pinks. I don't know, but I'm loving it so much. I feel like these are going to be gone as soon as I put them up on my site. So I better make a couple more. I don't know, but they were fun to make anyway, but they just turned out so beautiful. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that.